Hello and welcome to episode 126 of Masters of the Forge. This is Adam, and with me is Jason, as always. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Adam. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
It's funny, like, I totally avoid having any conversation with you before we start now, because it's, like, the only conversations we ever have.
Right.
Because babies and work and everything. So I'm like, oh, let's just save it all for the show.
Yeah. So you guys are going to hear us, be like morons, like normally I am. I don't know about you. Right.
So, well, we can't talk about, well, that's just it. We probably should have offline conversations.
Yeah.
About other weird things that probably are better left not here, like...
We'll leave them alone?
Well, no. Anyways, gosh, it's been a little while, but we're sticking to the 1 month schedules, and I think we've got it going. We got it going on. We're doing pretty good. So let's do our hobby progress. Let's start rolling into that. You went first last time. I'll go first this time. I painted my carriage on Overlords.
Woohoo!
That's my big thing. Quinn has given me. He has my Lord and Master Quinn Ronald Fasselt has given me leave to do some painting here and there, and in so doing, I started and completed my carriage on Overlord since...
That's impressive.
Like, I started them right after he was born.
Uh-huh.
So... Oh, they're pretty cool. I'll go over the paint scheme a lot. I've shared it around. People are pretty positive about it, which is nice. It's nice to have positive reactions to my carriage on Overlords. They're a Barrack Mornar, which are the piratey faction. So I wanted to do kind of more of a weathered scheme.
Right.
So it starts out. I actually start them out the same as my orcs with my Valspar Labrador Brown, which I can only get through mail order now. Which is a spray paint, and then I dry brush that lead belcher. I dry brush the whole model lead belcher.
Yeah.
Then my base coats are McCrag Blue for the blue, Ushabti Bone for the white, and Brass Scorpion for the gold.
Okay, yeah.
I think Brass Scorpion is better for any... It's better than gold for any faction that's more run down.
Right.
You don't want a bright gold for those.
That's
use various...
Is that a reddish gold?
It's more red, yeah.
Okay.
It's
I know
more warm.
Okay, now
it's
what you're
more
talking
warm.
about. I've used it, yeah. I remember there was always like a
I think
slight
it's a
red
layer,
tip.
so you need a few layers to get it on there.
Mm-hmm.
I use various browns for my leathers. Just whatever you got, like what's that, Cadian, whatever. Anyways, I just have a really simple weathering. I just do Rhinox hide, which is very reddish.
Mm-hmm.
And I streak that on all the blue. So I put it like on the undersides of any ledges of metal that there are. And then I put like a dot on each rivet. And then I use my finger to smear down and back to make it seem like... Yeah, make it seem like there's some oxidization coming from each of the rivets.
Oh, that's cool. That's super
thanks.
Cool.
Then I do like this light and uneven dry brush and stipple with a big, hard, dirty, nasty brush on the blue and the white parts, which are kind of the painted parts, really. I do that with the Rhinox hide, which again is a reddish brown, and lead belcher, which is the darker metallic, in that order. So it kind of creates these. A lot of like the GW way is to actually pick and very carefully add your chipped paint. I'm like, no, thank you. So then I wash the whole thing. After that's dry, I do like a clear coat, and I wash the whole thing with Reikland Flesh Shade.
Okay.
I spot wash with lead belcher and Nuln Oil.
Okay.
I spot wash the lead belcher sections with Nuln Oil.
Okay.
So anything that's silver also gets a Nuln Oil wash, just for more depth.
Yeah.
On that silver, and to kind of darken it up a little bit. Then the spot color is a very bright and vibrant green. So that goes on the Caradron have they have eye lenses like Space Marines, and they have like little bubbles of where you can kind of see the energy of the like ether gold energy inside their little engines and stuff. So those I do like a black ring around those sections.
Okay.
For contrast, and then I start with Warpstone Glow and blend up to Moot Green for a really bright, rich green color that really stands out. I instead of doing the Labrador Brown for the bases, I spray paint them black so that they have a totally different tone entirely.
Okay.
I dry brush those Lead Belcher and treat them with my rust weathering powders from Secret Weapon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's my process for those in case anybody's interested. If you're following me on Twitter or Facebook, you've already seen them. I should post something on... Well, I posted something on 1 Hour a Night too. So if you're following 1 Hour a Night, you've seen them there. So that's my process for those. It was a quick paint job, but I like the way it looks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a quick paint job. I mean...
No.
Yeah. Speed painting is most definitely a thing.
Well, I mean, now with the new contrast paints, I think we're going to see a lot more painted models out there, which is really nice.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I haven't had a chance to look at those paints yet, so maybe I'll head up to... Actually, I was thinking about going to GW today in Corpus because it's their 1-year anniversary. But I decided that, I didn't feel like going. And I wanted to record. So.
Well, it's really interesting. There were, they posted a bunch of stuff from their open day or whatever.
Right.
Which were interesting. But the new GW is pretty great and all, but what really helps is that they did send these paints off to some of the professional painters out there.
Right.
To also give their opinion on it. And Mangle Miniatures did a Skaven using pretty much only contrast paints and metallics.
Uh-huh.
And it looks amazing.
Uh-huh.
Like, whatever recipe is in those paints is gonna be pretty sweet. I'm looking forward to it. I may even do my Rogue Trader army using the contrast paints.
Interesting.
Just to give them a shot. Yeah, I find it very interesting. Like, if you can get paint done that quickly, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with a baby in the house and all that. Also, you can shoot it through an airbrush, I guess, with some measure of success.
I'll have to check that out, because if they can... I mean, there's some stuff that it'd be nice to be able to speed through certain things, like terrain, although I've gotten to the point now that I understand... I don't know if I understand what I'm doing, but I'm getting through terrain quickly.
Nice.
Kind of watching Brian and what he does, and one of our listeners, John, the way he does terrain also, John T. So, that's... But contrast paints could be... But we'll see if they come down here. I'll have to go pick some up probably when I go to San Antonio next, or Corpus.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll totally redo their paint racks.
Yeah, well,
to accommodate.
Let's see. My friendly local game store does not have a full-on GW contract. The local game store, notice the missing F, does not... I don't know what they're doing. They have a paint rack from a few years back. I don't know what they're doing. They're fascinating. So I like their manager, but that's about it. So
got it. Jim sold me some Firmir, which are a unit from Warhammer Fantasy and also Hero Quest.
Yeah.
they're like these swamp-dwelling, strange reptilian creatures that are not. They're not really quite lizard men. They're more weird fantasy than that. They're almost kind of old godsy type situation. They have like witch doctors and stuff. Anyways, there are actually some Forge World models that are fairly new for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
But Jim had these laying around, and he happened to mention it because I was mentioning how much I thought they were really cool. And homie sold them to me for, like, if you look at these things on eBay, FIMIR, they are ridiculous.
Wow.
Like 30 pounds a model.
Oh.
Yeah. He sold me 6 of them for $120.
Holy crap.
He's a nice man. Well, he knows that I'm not going to just turn around and sell them on eBay.
No, you're going to paint them and they're going to get used. They're going to get played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Warcry is a thing that's coming up. Who knows? I might be able to use them in that. Age of Sigmar Skirmish, maybe I can use them in that. I can definitely use them in my D&D campaign, which I'm setting in the Mortal Realms, so I'm looking forward to those guys. They're pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah. They're really funny, too. I just have to cut them off their square bases and put them on, I guess, 40 millimeters? They're pretty big. They're heavy. They're metal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could kill a man with one of those. Well, someone stronger than me could kill a man with one of those.
You hit them just right.
Yeah. Today, my project, well, I did build a, like, dragon model for my buddy who has a hard time, he has a hard time seeing sometimes, so I built that for him.
Got it.
I have another buddy who's not, my buddy Curtis. He asked me to fix his, I'm not sure what kind of Titan it is. It's an Eldar something Titan, and it was super busted. So I brought out the soldering holder, like octopus holder thing, and it's just sitting up there with the first repairs with 2-part epoxy.
Yeah.
Like not just like the welding, like the weld epoxy, the white and black weld, like JB weld epoxy. So
okay. So that's the serious stuff. Okay. Yeah,
that's the legit stuff. So that's gonna, hopefully that'll keep it together for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be the first round of attachment, and then after a couple days, I'll go back to it and. I'll actually probably add super glue to the epoxy, actually.
Okay.
Just to be sure.
Right.
Once it's dry or once it's set. And then I'll do the second round because the arms broke off and everything. I guess it happened when he moved. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Also today...
I know which model you're talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody had an Eldar Titan from Forge World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Forge World Titan. Yeah.
Wow.
He did use epoxy last time, but I don't know what kind he used. It might have still had mold releaser on it or something. Maybe that's because it came off pretty cleanly.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It broke along the epoxy. It didn't break along the resin.
Yeah, that sounds like a mold release issue.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, that resin can be pretty tough sometimes. Hey, cat, lay down, go to sleep.
Also today, I've been working on my Bulgrin. So here's the thing. I've been playing some games with Mike, the Vigilus campaigns, and I've been using my Digas for some of these games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be using them in our next game. And I really wanted to paint the whatever Digas I had remaining, which included a unit of 6 6 Ogre Kingdom Bulls that John gave me, that Skip gave me.
Okay.
And I was thinking I could take the bits I have from my Bullgrin kit that I bought for my Rogue Traders and turn those Ogre Kingdom Bulls into Bullgrin and or Ogrin. Now there's 6 of them in there. So there's 3 options for an Ogrin. You can do a Bullgrin with like a Power Maul, an Ogrin or a Bullgrin with like this frag launcher thing, and Ogrin with like this like heavy stubber type thing. I forget what it is. Mm-hmm. So, and not only that, each Ogrin has 2 different shields you can use on them. So there are, and there's a lot of different arms. Like there are so many pieces to this that I was actually able to make 3 Bullgrin for my Rogue Traders using the big tower shields and the frag launchers. I figured that would make more sense for a Rogue Trader army to have that as kind of this shield to put in front of the regular guardsmen if you're doing like ship to ship combat or whatever.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So I took the smaller shields and I put them on these Bullgrin along with the Power Mauls. The arms are put on the same way. They don't have the same dimensions, but they're kind of like this whole thing where the shoulders go into the body. Mm-hmm. It's not a flat surface like most normal 28mm models do. You don't like put flat surface onto flat surface and then throw a shoulder pad on.
Right.
It's mold like the mold. It's cut along the muscle line so they fit in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is a different muscle line between the Ogre Kingdom models and the Ogrin.
Right.
But it's close enough that I'll be able to use green stuff to kind of mold my own. Yeah. I'll be able to close the gap in those muscles fairly easily.
Well, just think of it as like, mid-90s Marvel muscle drawing for their comics.
Yeah.
Wow, I managed to get a burn in on those guys today. That wasn't on my to-do list today, but hey, it happened.
It's like, oh, I don't know where your boob ends and your muscles begin.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I used some I wish I had some rhinos, but I don't. I only have Land Raider tank treads, so I used some. I took a couple of the single Land Raider tank treads and I put them on their bellies because that's the Bullgrin used tank treads as armor, which is pretty hilarious. So I did that with them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the Ogrin. I haven't tried fitting them on there yet. So their gun, their like heavy stubber thingy, goes across chest. So it's 2 arms that connect to this gun across their chest. And the Ogre Kingdom's models have this weird circular belly hole that you put like a giant dinner plate on or something. So it might be a tight squeeze. The regular Ogrin with the guns, they might require the most green stuff, but there are enough Ogrin heads that I don't have to use any of the Ogre Kingdom heads, and there's enough Ogrin weapons and arms that I don't really need to use Ogre Kingdom arm weapons. The only thing I have to do is use the left arms on the Ogre Kingdom Bullgrin to but you put a shield on them and they're fine. So it's really interesting. It's a great little project. I almost want to just take these and only use them for my, for one arm. I want to be able to use them in both armies, but the basing is going to be totally different.
Oh yeah.
So it's fine either, but I can't. I'll post these up on the internet for you to see tonight because I should be at least done sticking the plastic together. I might save the green stuff for later because by the time I'm done recording, Wendy and Quinn will be home, and I need to have responsibilities apparently.
Be family.
Yeah, I'll the 6 that are meant for the Diggas, I'll add a bunch of orc bits like orc shoulder pads and stuff. Yeah, obviously, but
I'm
pretty
put
pleased.
together the Ogre Kingdom stuff. I put together Bullgrins from. I put together those models, the Astronaut Terror.
Those are great
really
models.
hard ones, but I've never put together the fantasy ones.
The IG ones are amazing. Like, they really do a good job of letting you know. Like, those kits are put together in a way that you can't make mistakes.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed when I was putting it together. It's like, oh, cool, I don't have to think about this. I can just do this and be half awake. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was really good. Last thing, I've been reading Plague War from Black Library. I did buy the Audible, so I've been listening to it in the car. It's pretty cool so far. Lots of Matthew the Priest so far. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. We may talk about it at a later date. I'm not sure.
I have it. I downloaded it, but I have not read it yet. I don't know why I haven't read it. I think I started reading it, so far. I was just at that point where I didn't need to read any grimdark, so I read a Terry Pratchett novel instead. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the folks, it's getting mixed reviews. I like it.
Yeah. Well, mixed. I mean, that just comes down to whether you like an author sometimes or not. There are certain authors that I love reading, and there's others that I don't like as much, and it's only because
that's okay.
Just the way they tell stories, not the way I prefer. So, there's nothing wrong with them. They shouldn't be burned at the stake, but it's a preference.
Exactly.
So.
That's my 20-minute hobby progress.
All right, man. Now that we're recording once a month, our hobby progress is a little obnoxious. So let's see.
But people like hobby progress.
Yeah, well, except for Jason Mullins,
people like knowing that the people who are on the podcast they listen to actually engage in the hobby. They hate it when they tune in and like the people they're supposedly listening to who supposedly like the hobby don't do any hobby.
Oh, okay. Well, boy, they're gonna love mine. All right. So yeah, I've been doing this thing on Monday nights where I go to the FLGS, the Friendly Local Game Store, and I hang out. I help teach people how to do airbrushing, or maybe I play a game of Kill Team or whatever. I'm trying to get out there and build a community. I ended up teaching painting with a real paintbrush at one of those things, which I've never done before. I learned how to paint from the GW guy at Denton, and then hanging out with you and Skip. And so, I've taken lessons with airbrushing, so I actually know what I'm doing. Whatever. I don't screw up that bad. But anyways, I was teaching paintbrushing for some people who are doing. They do a Tuesday night kind of D&D / Rangers of Shadow Deep type thing. They are using minis when they play, which is cool. And so I taught a few people how to do that a few weeks back, and then I helped last week again. So that was kind of weird, but perfectly honest, I knew what I was talking about, because as I was talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, we need to do this and this and this and do that, and good. So that was kind of cool.
That's awesome, dude. That's exactly the kind of thing we need in this hobby. People getting out there and engaging others and getting them interested in doing the hobby, going all the way and painting your miniatures. And I mean, just a little bit of instruction goes a long way, right?
Yeah. And the first night it was with Jeremy and Stephanie. And they had some really interesting color combinations they wanted to run with. So I said, well, let's see what happens. And they came up with some really good stuff. I taught them how to do some highlighting, taught them how to, use a little bit of wash to bring out depth and detail. So that was pretty cool. And then I did the same thing last week, but I cannot remember that kid's name at all. Okay, well, so. Oh, and I also got to demo X-Wing again, which I think I've played it like 3, maybe 4 times. It's not my favorite thing. I don't know. It's cool. It's fun, but I'm trying to stay with one IP at a time so that I'm not dying. So
yeah.
Let's see. So what else have I done? Okay, I don't remember the name of this model. It looks like the Stargate thing. The Stargate,
Noctilith Crown, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I picked that up. I looked at it and went, I want that. It looks ridiculous and over the top. Let's do this. So I picked that up, and I've been painting it, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I did kind of one of the things I'm wanting to do is like really dial up contrast, go from having some really dark areas to very bright, just for the hell of it, And so I went through and did a real contrast in blue, dark. Well, it was a base. I don't know what the base was. It's out of the game air colors, and then I took an even brighter blue. I think it was like magic blue, and then I took some ink to darken, so I actually have this real wide spectrum of blue on this thing. And then I put some silver on the icons area, but I haven't finished it yet because I don't know. I just wanted to kind of get it to, at least base coated with some highlights to figure out details later. But it's a fun model. It was actually fun to paint, except I kept stabbing myself with every freaking spike on there. So
yeah, that model's like that. Let everybody know what the color silver was, because I found that color to be very interesting.
Oh, it's white chrome from Minotaur. So yeah, or it's chrome white or white chrome, something like that. It should be. I sprayed it over a black primer, so I might need to spray it over something else to get it to pop a bit more. But putting it together, I cut myself. Just putting it together, not even painting it, just putting it together. And then whenever I was painting it, I kept stabbing myself. I was like, cool, there's, blood for the blood god. Okay, cool. All right. So, just a recommendation from me to everyone. Either be careful or just cut the spikes off. I don't know. So, that was that. I've been stripping Primaris. The Primaris that came with, I think it was a Dark Imperium set. And because I painted them into Blood Raven red, that kind of a dark red, and I got tired of painting it. Like, I haven't painted any Blood Ravens in a while. Just because I got tired of painting that dark, deep red. So I'm going to strip those, and I'm going to paint them the Candy Apple Red from the 30K Thousand Suns. So this could happen, Astartes Call has all those Primaris from the Traitor Legions.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah. We're not triggering anybody with this conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so for a few years now, I've been threatening to go ahead and do the Thousand Suns, and I started yesterday. I'm doing the Candy Apple Red. Basically, I think it's Chainmail. This is under Game Air, so it's Chainmail, and then Chainmail Silver, and then Silver is a highlight. And then I'm taking I think it's Blood Red Ghost Tint from Minotaur, and then I'm doing very thin light coats. And I'm doing about 3 to 4 coats to get that Candy Apple Red going. So it's going to be obnoxious, and that's cool. I'm good with that.
I approve of obnoxious, me.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that.
So does Quinn, apparently. This is a hell of my own making, don't worry. I understand that completely.
What's the phrase? You pay for your raisin? Yeah. All right. So I'm painting those guys. We'll see what happens. I have a lot more Thousand Suns than I thought I did, so we'll see what happens. I'm still currently stripping the Legion of the Damned models. Those are my oldest models that I still had the original paint jobs on, I realized. Like, half of them are from the original Hobby Progress Challenge from the independent characters. So as I was stripping them, I was like, wow, there's some thick paint on this. Oh, man. So I'm going to go through and repaint those. I'm just still stripping them because I just haven't had a chance to really get in there and work on them. I also, remember, guys, this is the last month, and I try and hobby every night to stay somewhat sane. I built a Count Saz Castellan 30K model, so that's the model that typically is part of the mechanical. And it's kind of like a Castellan or a
Castellan robot? It's like a robot?
Yeah, it's a robot. Basically a robot with a shoulder-mounted weapon, either melt-a-gun or some sort of cannon.
Plasma death cannon with like 5 AP2 small blasts. Yeah, that thing's obnoxious.
Yeah, isn't it though? So anyways, I built one. I built one using the Ambot Necromunda thing. Because I was like, I like this. It's a cool robot. What am I going to do with it? And I was looking at that and reading over the rules. I thought, I could maybe make it into this. So I built one of those and added some cool stuff. So it kind of looks like kind of a scrap heap version of a Castellans, which I thought was really cool. And I built a Praevian, a Death Guard Praevian, also 30K model, and that Castellan would be his bodyguard. So I thought that was really cool. That was a lot of fun. And that was the Praevian that had like the scythe and that weird backpack that had the combi flamer attached. So anyways, I used a lot of Anvil Industry bits to build that. So Anvil Industry, if you're listening, you want to sponsor me? I'm happy. I'll use your stuff. It's cool. Oh, and also as a companion for the Praevian, I built a Leviathan, and I mostly painted it, or I did all the base coating yesterday and the day before. So Leviathans are fun to paint. I now know why Brian loves them so much, because they are fun. Not a lot of fun to build, but a lot of fun to paint. Let's see, what else? It's in the semester, Blarg. Yeah, that was my comment when I wrote that originally. Oh, I finished the new Deathwatch novel from Steve Parker. He's got a really good quote about Tau Nikasar, the hibernating pancake bears.
Yeah.
In there. I think I shared that with you and with Plain Show.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm currently reading Solar Wars from John French, which is, I guess the Horus Heresy books are finished, the novels. And so now they're going to do the Solar Wars, the fight for, the solar system and go to Terra. So I'm pretty, it's John French. His stuff is really good. I really like his stuff a lot. So it's been a good read.
Yeah, I think each of the authors is getting a book.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking. I mean, it's there's some heavy hitters in there.
Yeah, there are.
It's like, okay, there's Dan and there's Gab and there's French, and will ADB actually make his deadline? We'll see.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Well, he made a Twitter post today that said he just went to a meeting at GW headquarters that left him very energized and positive about his future endeavors. So he's probably going to be doing just fine.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, his stuff is critically acclaimed. I mean, his books are absolutely adored. So. Mm-hmm. And he did mention earlier this semester or earlier this year that he had actually hit a deadline early and was kind of amazed. So,
like I thought I felt the space-time continuum shift so slightly.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with the world. He actually hit a deadline on time. Cool. Okay. Games played. So now that I've done with my BS.
Games played. So I had 4 games this month. Mm-hmm. Wendy has been just amazing. Letting me take my Mondays and go play. But I hate using the term "letting me," but I feel like we give each other the time we need to be people.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not a one-ended thing. Like,
yeah.
Like I do what I can to make sure she gets to do the things she wants to do as well. So I had a nice time playing against Mark's Necrons.
Right.
We accidentally mixed two of the open play or the new match play missions, but
right.
I think we did Maelstrom actually, but no, it was a regular mission. But we mixed them up. There's one where you can only score with characters, and there was something else I forget. Anyways, we mixed up two of the missions, but it was actually a fun mission. The Speed Freaks were victorious in that scenario. I was playing. He had that giant Necron Forge world model.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cool. Yeah, it was neat.
Wow.
I also played against Bill's Tau with my Death Skulls Speed Freaks. I've been basically running Death Skulls Speed Freaks lately in my open play and match play games. We played Maelstrom. Bill was victorious in that game. Even though orcs are pretty, like they have a lot more staying power than they used to. It does get to the point where if you're going to turn 6 and 7, man, you're running out of models pretty quickly by then. So that was a fun game with Bill. I had a nice time, and I tried out some stuff and learned a lot from that game. I also had 2 games with Mike. We're going through the Vigilus missions and scenarios like I was talking about last time.
Yeah.
So we actually did recordings of those. So those are going to come up after the intro. I don't know how good they are going to end up being. I uploaded them to the drive today.
Okay.
I just, standard operating procedure. There are a few nice, Mike has some nice messages for you in there.
Oh, that Mike. Okay. Yeah,
Mike.
I know which Mike you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, the person
So
I
we
played
recorded
before I
them-
ever played you.
Yeah, we recorded them in the store.
Oh,
so-
God. Okay, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what I did was I took my phone and I put them in a piece of terrain,
Yeah.
and turned the wall of the terrain towards the rest of the store.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I kind of blocked the noise, sort
Right.
of. It's going to be terrible, but that's fine. Everybody enjoy that. So we're going to keep on playing those.
Yeah.
We played. We're going to play again pretty soon. That's why, like I said, that's why I'm building I'm building these Ogren, and I'm going to try and get all of my extra Diggas painted up. I'm using those whenever we get a mission that makes sense to have the Gene Stealer cults. I'm using my Diggas instead.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Well,
We're kind of rewriting the narrative of Vigilus where it's Diggas instead of Gene Stealer cults, which is just they're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Diggas are basically the Gene Stealer cultists of the orc. Like Diggas are to orcs as Gene Stealer cults are to Tyranids. So
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond the Fringe. Oh wait, no, your game.
Okay, so I've got a game lined up for Tuesday. I guess I'm going to take my Raven card. My goal this next, few weeks, next month or so, is to get the Thousand Suns up and running so that I can, play them. Just because, why not?
Yeah.
I think that we'll see how far I am by next recording, but considering how far I've gotten just with troops yesterday, and I've got a whole bunch of demons that are just waiting for some paint. They may be on the field sooner than I think. So,
Right.
but I've got a game lined up on Tuesday with Luis, and then I'm supposed to have a game at some point with Keith because he wants to practice for the thing in August up in Grapevine. There's like a GW not a grand tournament, or maybe it is a grand tournament. I don't know. But they're doing something at the convention center up there. He wants to go play in that tournament, and you know how much I like playing tournaments. So, but I'll help people prep for tournaments. I don't care about that. But so anyway.
Did I see right that you're actually thinking about coming up to Albany?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try and see what I can do. I'm still waiting for, to figure out what times y'all are doing that stuff. And then, me just telling my summer class I won't be here during that time. So,
right.
If I have a summer class.
Cool.
It comes down to, am I teaching this summer? I don't know.
Right.
On one hand, it's like, I'd like the money. But on the other hand, it's like, I'd like to be left alone. So,
Right.
All right. Now, Beyond the Fringe.
Shit.
Okay.
My Beyond the Fringe is not getting polio.
Well, yeah, man. I like that one.
Pretty
I like
sweet.
that one. Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So, had the doctor stab my child yesterday. It was pretty cool.
Cool.
Stabbed a couple times. So
that wasn't probably as
they
cool.
won't be walking around on crutches their entire life. So that's pretty sweet.
Very nice.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you can avoid it, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. My Beyond the Fringe is Vacation. My last vacation was in June. And that was going and hanging out with you. So, yeah. Or maybe it was whenever I went to see you up at in Austin. So, I don't know. I don't get much time off a lot of times.
Austin, Massachusetts?
Huh?
Austin, Massachusetts?
No, whenever your cousin got married.
Yeah, I know.
Is there an Austin, Massachusetts?
Never mind. No, there is not.
Anyways, the current temperature in my home, where I'm living, is 94 degrees. For those of you who are not of the American variety, that is 34 degrees Celsius / centigrade. And it's only May. We haven't even got to the hot part yet. So, pray for me. I need it.
I will. But hey, vacation?
Yeah.
That's worthy of some air horn. Oh wait, no, shoot. I was going to play my air horn app, but I realized that I have my headphones in coming through my phone. And just as I was jacking up the volume, I'm like, I'm about to blast my own ears with an air horn instead of the listeners. That would have been really funny. Okay. Cool. Vacation. All right. We're going to go take a break.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a segment with those 2 games I played with Mike. Then we're going to come back and talk about the Renegades of Vigilus.
Hey mofos, are you looking for more Warhammer 40k video content? Well, the Scourge cast posts regular battle reports as well as tactics and strategy videos. Be sure to check out all the cool hobby content for the avid tabletop wargamer. That's Scaredcast, Skared on YouTube. I just want to invite you to Frayed Paintbrush Hobby Progress Facebook group. It is a positive group set up to motivate us to hobby and then share it with all the other members. At the beginning of the month, post up your monthly challenge on the page, and then at the end of the month, you post the completed work for all to see. No pressure, just fun among friends. Once again, that's Frayed, Frayed Paintbrush. Hope to see you there.
Well, I'm here at Flipside Gaming with my friend Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
This is your first time on a podcast, right?
It is. I'm very excited.
This is so much fun. All right, so we are going to start playing through the Vigilus missions. I'm not sure how far we're going to get before we get sick of it. We're going to keep on going.
I would like to keep going all the way through because I want to justify my purchases.
Okay, well, fair enough. So today we're playing the first, phase 1 of the War of the Beasts, which is... The Green Claw closes. I'm playing the Orcs, you're playing the Astra Militarum. The scenario we're using is Storm the Lines. which is a kind of a striped deployment for the defender.
Yeah, I thought that would, based on a little narrative it gives you in head, that mission kind of summed it up the most, I thought.
I think so too. Yeah, it's basically the orcs pushing through the Vigilus front lines, and the guard meeting their attack. And in the story, there's one story where the guard are sent out of the walls while they repair the shields, and then the pauper princes turn off the shields behind them, and they just get decimated.
Never works out for the guard.
No, it never does. But we'll see if you can do a ton of damage to the orcs before then. We are so the victory conditions of this one are, if I make it to like deep within your deployment, I win automatically at the end of the game. And it is random battle length.
Right.
Then if I don't have any units back there at that time, then we compare power level in the like middle deployment area.
Right.
So like what we were saying, like striped defense. Now I get to recycle my units throughout the game. And you are going to have +1 leadership.
Yep.
And I'm going to have +1 movement. I basically took a Speed Freaks army. I've got a unit of a big unit of bikes, a small unit of non-bikers, Deathkiller Warlord Trait. Deathkiller Warlord Trait, I took the Cult of Speed specialist attachment. So for 1 command point, I get access to the 2 stratagems. One of them is called Turbo Boosters, lets me double my movement if I advance. And with the Deathkiller Warlord Trait behind me, I can actually advance and assault.
Yes, I hope I go first.
Yes. I also have one called Charged Room, also for 2 command points, which allows me to consolidate 2d6 inches. I automatically pass morale checks within 12 inches of my Warlord if we advance. And my Warlord has Scarred Room Snaz Strike, which is +1 toughness, 5+ invuln. Pretty cool. I'm running Death Skulls because it's just my clan of choice. So anyways, I also have 3 Boondocka Snaz Wagons, 2 trucks full of boys, a small unit of Storm Boys just because I had an extra 3 power level. 1 battle wagon full of tank busters with rockets on it, so there's a lot of rockets there. And then 1 bone breaker with War Boss and some boys in it. I haven't really used the bone breaker properly yet, so I'm looking forward to that. I was cheating before. You can't carry 20 guys. You can only carry 12. But it starts off with hard case, so it's toughness 8 to start.
Oh, and that's what loses the capacity because it's got the hard case?
Yeah, the hard case, it's extra strong.
Extra strong.
Yeah, we'll look it up, but I think it does extra hits when it crams you.
Oh, yeah. Bone breaker.
Bone breaker. Yeah, you would think, right? And that is my army. Again, I can recycle my units. We're not going to use any of the war zones this time because we're just getting used to this. Let's try to keep it as uncomplicated as possible because we're already complicating things. What's your army look like, Mike?
I haven't played this army since I think 6th edition.
Nice.
So there's a lot of old school stuff in there. But old but goodies. So I got 2 Basilisks, Manticore, 2 Lehman Russes, a Punisher, because it's got a Gatling gun, who's one of the big Gatling guns.
Nice. And you've got those all deployed over here in the back in this big, like, artillery kind of detachment.
When I took the Firestorm readout, because I took fortifications, because that's even neater, I guess.
Yeah, in this mission, you get +3 command points if you take a fortification detachment. Yeah, which is super sweet.
Yeah, so I piled them all in the back corner there, and everyone's hiding behind the fortification like Brave Guardsmen do. And,
right. Flanked by Lehman Russ, which is basically a wall in and of itself.
All the bodies way up front to get massacred by the orc onslaught.
I approve. And there's a commissar up there making sure they
stay put.
They stay where they go.
So they protect the armor.
We got some armored sentinels.
I got 2 armored sentinels because why not? They're neat.
Cool.
Chicken walkers.
Cool. I like it.
A lot of flamethrowers because I tailored my list to orcs.
Nice. No, you should, because you're fighting orcs.
Fighting orcs makes sense.
And what are the two? You have two fortifications in the middle deployment zones.
Vengeance weapon batteries.
Vengeance battery weapon.
Something batteries.
Anyways,
Vengeance of cannons.
Whatever the case.
Big automated cannons. I flip-flop the guns around because that's the thing you can do. So there's a Gatling gun on one and the anti-air one. So your Storm Boys will get some love for that.
Yes, feeling the love. All right. Awesome. So I'm looking forward to this. Do you want to roll to see who goes first on camera or on
audio? Microphone?
Let's use the pink one because at least the pink one isn't biased.
Right.
On a 1, 2, or 3, the attacker has the first turn, which is me. On a 4, 5, or 6, the defender has the first turn. Ooh, the attacker has the first turn. All right, we're going to play this whole game, and we're going to come back and talk about how it went. All right, Mike, the battle is over, and for some reason the audio is totally different. All right, that's fine. That's fine. So the orcs managed to press in and gain the ground they needed to, which is very thematic for what happened. Now with this, some of these narrative missions, they say, oh, if one side is more power level than the other, do this. Or whatever, like they're automatically the attacker. I think they're almost saying you want to go with less power level for that side. I feel like this would have been more fun if I had less power level than you.
I think really with the fact that I'm so long range, but we're playing long table length, and you're so fast.
Yeah.
That if I got first turn, I would have had 2 turns of shooting before you got in there.
That's true.
And it would have been a lot closer.
Oh, it would have been a lot closer. Yeah. It was a fun game, though. Yeah. Like, it was definitely very, very thematic. It was exactly as advertised. Yeah. Like, it felt like the speed mob was zooming in and trying to press in on your territory, and I did manage to encroach. So that the speed wah ability to double your movement.
Oh, it's big.
With it
took up that advantage I had and just got rid of it.
Yeah, it really did. And the bikes were able to come in here and they were able to touch one of the basilisks and one of the Lehman Russ, and that took away a lot of your firepower.
Yep, my cheaty deployment betrayed me in the end because I had no room to back out from combat and blast them.
Yeah, but I think the Mana Core and the one Basilisk shooting twice thanks to the stratagem every turn, they actually did fairly well. They did.
When I could
great.
Shoot, things died.
Yeah, battle wagons just like exploded here and there and everywhere. That was cool. I don't think the fortifications were very helpful.
No, those are junk. Those are garbage.
Sweet hot trash. That's why they gave you 3 extra command points.
It was trash. I took them knowing they were trash, and like I had one painted. And, like they need some table time, but that's about it. I could say they got table time.
That was fun. I think next time if we do a mission like this, and I think we will, we'll just let you take the fortifications for free and call it even.
I think
the defender, whoever the defender is.
Defender, that would make sense.
If the mission calls.
Because that could be the way to balance out whoever has more points. You just have fortifications.
Have some fortifications. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. All right, so these missions have a points system. So what I was thinking we could do is split it up by the factions on Vigilus. Orcs, Chaos, Imperium, Eldari.
I like that.
Tyranid, and I guess it would be Drukhari as well. And Tyranid would include Genestealer Cult, which is all who's there anyways. Yeah. But it doesn't matter who plays what. Like, you could play Orcs next time if you wanted to, but the score would still go to the Orcs.
Still score the Orcs.
Yep. So, so if you win the battle, you get 10 GPs. So that I would get 10.
Yep.
Did we use a Vigilus battle zone? Not this time because we wanted to keep it easy.
You got a bonus too, right?
Yeah, you get a bonus. We played a Crucible of War mission, so we each get 1 extra.
Ooh.
And then the bonus glory. We get 5 GP each for doing Storm the Lines. So you get 6 and I get 16. So the Orcs have 16. And Imperium has 6 for now.
Okay, we're only down by 10.
You're only down by 10? That's totally fine. So the next mission, I think it would be really interesting if we tried something a little different. It's either convoys and running battles, so it'd be Speed Freaks versus Astra Militarum again.
Okay.
Or you can do the Flesh Raids.
Ooh.
Drawn like blade sharks to the blooded water, Drukhari prey upon isolated explorators in Calyx Bane before venturing further afield to raid the southern reaches of Dirkton and Otek Hive Sprawls. So I think that would be super fun if I took my Diggas, my Imperial Guard Diggas, which could represent the Gene Stealer cult, kind of exploring out in the middle of the desert.
Right.
And you can play your Drukhari.
All right, perfect.
You want to do that?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. We'll figure out power level and everything and what specific missions later. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds very good.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. All right, and we're back with another narrative mission with my buddy Mike. Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
So we're doing round 2 of the first phase of the War of the Beasts, convoys and running battles and flesh raids.
Ooh.
Yes, swarms of speed freaks fall upon the armored convoys carrying precious resources across the planet. The Astra Militarum respond, their tank companies engaging despite running battles. And the flesh raids are drawn like blade sharks to bloody water. Drukhari prey upon isolated explorers in Calyx Bane before venturing further afield to raid the southern reaches of Dirkton and Otek Hive Sprawls. So what we were thinking was we were going to have my Diggas be the ones that are trying to escape one of the burning Hive Sprawls, and the Drukhari Raiders are trying to capture them as they are leaving their stronghold.
Right.
Some of the fortifications are still manned. I've got a couple of vengeance batteries with battle cannons and a bastion standing on my end of the battlefield. Hopefully that'll. At first I thought, well, that's kind of bad for a running battle, but actually I'm hoping it might deter you from putting too many things too close to me.
That's true.
In the beginning of the game. So then my convoy is 4 chimeras. Mike let me borrow 3 of his chimeras. All of them full of troops. I'm using the Renegades and Heretics rules for the Diggas because they're all close combat weapon and pistol. There's literally the only thing that has close combat and pistol really are the Renegades and Heretics. I could have used the Gene Stealer cult, but I don't have that book. So, anyways, I've got 3 troop squads, those guys, with a las cannon and a grenade launcher in there. And then I have a command squad with 7 guys in it because I need to fit all 3 of my characters in there. I have an enforcer, which is basically a commissar. I have a commander and a malefic lord. So those are all just he's tapped into the power of the WOG. Mm-hmm. And the commander's just this kind of like a requisition guy, like someone who used to be able to get lots of good kit for the army before it kind of fell to the madness of the orc invaders. And the commissar is just trying to survive. She's like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And she just found this commissar outfit on the ground. She was never a commissar.
Just put it on.
She just put it on, and she was like, I have the big hats. I'm in charge. So that's why she
Commissar, big hat.
Commissar, she has the big hat. That's why she's cool. And then I have another model in the convoy is the Punisher, mm-hmm. And then I also have 2 Lehman Russ Vanquishers. They're the ones with the super penetrating rounds.
Ooh, that's gonna mess up my boats.
Might mess up the boats. And there's a reason for that, but we'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So the raiding Drukhari, what is in that list?
I took 3 patrol detachments.
Nice.
So all of the flavors of Dark Eldar are represented. I got the Cabal, the Witches, and a little bit of Coven units.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me 4 command points plus the 3. Instead of going all one direction, I got a little bit of a blend there.
Nice.
But I got pretty much everything's on a flight stand. I've got lots of Raiders and Venoms and a lot of bikes.
It's a raiding party.
It's a raiding party, so everything, nothing on foot, well, except for the troops in the transports. But everything's on a flight stand, everything's flying, moving very fast, lots of Dark Lance.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 weapon profiles. It's either going to be a Dark Lance or a Splinter.
Nice.
Pretty nasty.
Yep, that'll be a lot of dead vehicles. Because it's kind of like this running battle convoy raiding thing, there's a couple special rules for round 2 of the War of the Beasts. Tank hunters add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by vehicles that target vehicles, so that's cool. That'll be good for both of us. Prey on the weak. Drakari units that have the power from Pain ability treat their current battle round as being 1 higher than it actually is when determining what bonuses they gain. And yours is somewhat special in that regard.
And I got playing Black Hearts. They already count at 1 higher, so that's going to be 2 higher for them right off the rip.
Oh, nice. And we're both going to earn 5 extra GPs just for playing the Convoy Mission. The Convoy Mission, I mean, you can pretty much guess what it is. I start on the battlefield in one end, and then I have to get my convoy off the other side. I believe if I get anything off the other side, I win.
There's like a percentage you have to get off, and then there's like a fallback power level.
Here it is. If the combined power rating of the escape units is equal to or greater than half the power level of the convoy as the whole, the defender wins a major victory. If at least 1 model from the convoy escaped, but the total is less than half the convoy's power level, the attacker wins a minor victory. Any other result is a victory in your favor, sir. So you're going to be coming on from reserves with your entire thing. Were you thinking that you might use the Outriders in order to deploy something right away, or are you going to hold off? I do have those.
You'd already deployed first, so I
have to deploy first, and I do have those fortifications, but you saw how badly they did for you in the last game.
Yeah, they don't hit nothing. So it's for you getting them for free, it really doesn't matter.
They're not even free. I paid for them.
You paid for them? Well, I paid for them last time. I guess
it's fair.
We'll call that fair. They suck though.
Yeah. So
I
don't know. Do you want to do Outriders and charge me on turn 1?
I might,
because I don't get to seize the initiative. You just get to go.
My bikes might want to do that, or maybe my Talos would probably want to do that. But I don't know. You deployed pretty smartly, so I don't know. I may not do that right away.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna come back at the end of the game and tell you how it went. All right, Mike. Well, it seems that our prediction was correct. It was definitely in your favor by
Dark
quite a
Elder,
bit.
I think definitely this was their
They
game.
love that
they
one,
love ambushing vehicles and
murdering people. Yeah, that's super good. So I tried to break away, and I didn't. So the way it says to set up the train is to put a road down the middle.
Right.
And instead of going down the road, I juked right. But the thing is, your guys are so fast, you're able to block me off.
Right.
So I created a terrible bottleneck for myself.
Yeah,
on
you
the side.
You got in your own way.
Yeah, I probably should have. I should have just punched forward, tried to kill like 1 or 2 vehicles, and shot through that hole.
Yeah.
But at any rate, that was a super fun game.
Yeah.
I think the Renegades and Heretics rules are a little
weak.
It's pretty weak. Yeah,
they need some help.
Weak. But yeah, they definitely. Next time I'll run them as catechins. The next time I do the Diggers.
Yeah, they look catechen-y. They got big muscles and
and they're
knives.
They're like orc friends. So like, I'm very sorry for the audio in this one. Sorry, Jason. Sorry, listeners.
Good luck, Jason.
But like the +1 strength, I think makes a lot of sense for Diggers. So
yeah.
I'll do that next time. Anyways, we're going to get both +5 for that. You won the battle, so you get 10 for that, so that's 15. We didn't do a battle zone again. We'll do a battle zone next time. We played a Crucible of War mission, so it's +1 GP, so it'll be 16 to 6. 6 for the Diggas. I'm going to change that one from Genestealer Cults to just Diggas, because that's what I'll just be using it as the whole time anyways.
Okay.
So it'll be 6 for the Diggas and 16 for the Drakari.
Cool.
Cool. So the next one, let's see. The next round 3 is Rise of the Pauper Princes and Hidden Agendas, Selfish Souls. Looks like Imperium and Genestealer Cult. So I'll run Diggas again. And if you want to run any Imperium, I think any Imperium you want. Custodes, it looks like. Hive, actually, it looks like any Imperium. So if you want to just pick anything, you can.
Unless you want to get a Lecture out here for those Custodes.
That's true.
Which one do you want to do? Or do you want to wait?
Like we have Behead the Viper, Hold Your Gains, and Ambush. Hold Your Gains is a cool one where you have to sit in the middle and fight off people coming at you, which might be cool for like Space Marines against Space Marines against the Diggas coming in off the sides.
I haven't broke my Ultramarines out in a while.
Let's do that. That'll be fun. All right, cool. So it'll be Ultramarines versus Diggas in the next battle. Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Well, don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch?
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 Hour a Night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 Hour a Night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Se til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det ikke en bikkje, det en slags ting. Den imiterer en bikkje, men det ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said. And we're back! I hope everybody enjoyed listening about those games as much as I had playing them, which I doubt because playing games with Mike is super fun.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Super fun. Especially when you're doing narrative missions, it's nice.
I look forward to listening to what he has to say, especially if he's got messages for me.
Yeah. I went and got a refill on my drink. Ooh. I ran out of cran grape juice to mix with my Tito's. So I used the rest of the some Pedialyte we had in there. So that makes it healthy.
Sure, why not? I got nothing.
I would like to start this off with kind of a quote from the book.
Okay.
From Vigilus Ablaze, I think it is.
Yeah.
The information we present here is going to come from both books because kind of the information spans both books. Mm-hmm. The heretic Astartes upon Vigilus numbered in the tens of thousands, the equal to the Space Marines they once called brothers. So there were a lot of Chaos Space Marines on Vigilus. Vigilus is a big deal. It was a very important linchpin in the strategy for, going forward for both the Chaos Space Marines and, both for Chaos and the Imperium, or at least the Black Legion and the Imperium. A lot of them had been fighting the Imperium for a long time, but there were also some recent converts. At least 12 unique Renegade chapters flocked to Abaddon's banner at Vigilus, but not all of them are mentioned in Vigilus Ablaze. This kind of will let you come up with your own stories if you want.
Yeah.
It's cool because they... the way they do it in the book is they have kind of the dramatis personae section for each faction on Vigilus, and it lists all of the chapters and all of the regiments and stuff that were involved in the fighting. But at the bottom it says continued in data slate whatever.
Right.
But they never give you that data slate. So that kind of gives you leave to fill your own story in, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool,
Yeah.
Any chance you can give for players to bring in, their own narrative group or their own chapter. I could bring in my Blood Ravens.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something saying the Legion of the Damned didn't show up in like a small area, and that's nice. I like that.
Right. So here in this segment, we're going to go over each of the Renegade chapters that were depicted in Vigilus Ablaze. We're not going to go into too much detail about the two really popular ones.
Right.
Because we've gone over one of them already, and the independent characters did a pretty deep dive into another one recently. So we're going to skip, we're kind of gloss over those, but we're going to give full information on the others. So you want to start us out with the background on the Brazen Beasts, Jason?
The Brazen Beasts. Codex Khorne Demonkin? So...
Mm-hmm. That was their first real appearance.
So, when they were loyal, the Brazen Beasts were once called the Golden Blades, until they went mad during an encounter with Khorne demons. They saved themselves by binding their attackers to their own war machines, but in doing so sealed their fate. The Brazen Beasts are a warband of Khorne Demonkin, whose ranks swell with a staggering number of demon engines, and they have a tendency to take on challenges which reflect their unique capabilities.
They fight other machines of war or Tyranid bioforms, stuff like that.
Yeah. The nice thing is we're going to talk about hobby and stuff in a bit, because I've got some really cool ideas just on that first bullet point. All right, so the Brazen Beasts have fought and defeated an Ulthway Wraith host, the Knights of the House Hawkshroud, and lumbering hordes of Tyranid war beasts. That's impressive. They also use their mighty demon engines and brutal and patient siegecraft, breaking even the mystical defenses of otherworldly Tzeentchian palaces. All of this they do thanks to their partnership with demonic Gore Thunder cohort, which boasts massive batteries of skull cannons and herds of clanking soul grinders.
So they legit travel around with Khorne demons.
Yeah.
And this Gore Thunder cohort is basically a detachment, like a big detachment of Khorne demons with a very large amount of skull cannons, soul grinders, and other war machines, demonic war machines.
Do you remember who their progenitor chapter was? I'm just curious.
The Golden Blades. No, I don't think we know.
Okay, because they're starting to. At one point, I thought they were Iron Warriors, but
yeah, it sounds correct.
Yeah, maybe they're sons of Imperial Fists.
Perturabo.
All right. So, anyways, sorry. The Brazen Beasts don't just bind demon engines to their will. Rather, they revere the mighty beasts as divine beings. They are proud to serve alongside them in their bloodthirsty rampage. One machine in particular, a Lord of Skulls named the Caged God, is truly worshipped as a deity. The mighty avatar of their bloodlust is carried aboard their Space Hulk, the Oblivion Shadow, until it is needed to face a particularly bothersome foe. I love the idea of a Space Hulk being a Chaos Space Marine ship. I mean, I know the Space Hulks are typically, orcs and...
Orcs are Chaos.
Gene Stealers, right?
Yeah, Gene Stealers too, yep.
But I think the idea of the CSM having one is just kind of brilliant. I love that idea.
And for these guys, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
It's probably alive.
Yeah.
So on Vigilus... Mega Borealis. So we talked about this in the last episode, but Mega Borealis is the district long held by the Mechanicus, where they had these massive boar hives delving deep into the planet's crust in search of Blackstone, which we learned is both a psychic impediment or psychic resonator. In these boar hives, not only did they stretch deep down, they stretched high above, and it allowed them to kind of convey their ore from the mines to shipping. They're filled with laboratories, data stacks, and foundries, among other things. This bastion of the Mechanicus was the perfect site for an assault by the Brazen Beasts and their legion of vile demon engines. Yes, because they're fighting other big engines of destruction. Implements of destruction! Just, little Transformers, the movie. Implements of... Wait... Engine? Is it engines? Well, whatever. Yeah. The Renegade Chapter's horribly mutated battle barge pushed through the Silo 15's refractor field in a dangerous low atmosphere maneuver. So it's just like they took their battle barge, which is basically alive, and kind of shoved it through the force field. Wow. And a swarm of hell drakes belched from the vessel in a swarm of fury and destruction, followed by a blasts of deafening scrap code.
That's pretty cool. So that's a pretty cool visual.
Yeah. Then a host of infernal machines spilled from segmented pseudopods reaching down to the surface. Imagine, it probably looked a lot like a Tyranid invasion, actually.
Yeah, it's sounding like that, that there's this almost living battle barge that's just dropping out, living stuff.
It's so cool. I love the Brazen Beasts. I think these guys are super cool. The Caged God himself led the assault, just clanking onto the battlefield with his giant lawnmower of destruction. With the maniple of Titans long destroyed by the Pauper Princes. Now, there were other Titans that came to the aid of the planet, but the ones that were stationed on Vigilus were just gone. There was little to thwart such a heavy assault of corrupted machines.
Yeah.
Even the great hero of Vigilus, Cruel Daka, even he added his host of battle wagons and death dreads to the carnage of steel and fire. The Brazen Beasts managed to push through the Mechanicus' defenses and bring down the refractor field. Within moments, the Vengeful Spirit, that's Abaddon's command ship, the Vengeful Spirit launched a spread of cyclonic torpedoes and annihilated everything within a mile of Silo 15, orc, human, and Brazen Beast alike. Corn demons birthed from the carnage and raining from the battle barge, including 8 bloodthirsters, would continue the fight through Mega Borealis in the closing days of the war, and spelled doom for the Mechanicus and orc forces there.
Wow.
Bummer.
That's kind of amazing. I went through and blew up, everyone plus allies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why not? It's corn demons. They'll just make more.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about on your tabletop and in the hobby for these guys?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So on your tabletop, the Brazen Beasts Renegade Trait from Vigilus Ablaze speaks to their violent battle lust. So they actually have their own trait there. When they charge or are charged, wound rolls of a 6 are resolved at -4 AP because, ouch.
Yeah, even 3+ armor save models don't get a save.
Yeah, I was looking at the number going, oh, that's a 7. Oh, lovely. Okay. More amusing is the Warlord Trait, which adds 2 to the character's attacks and strength whenever they slay an enemy character. The stratagem targets a demon engine who can do mortal wounds to a nearby enemy. Vigilus Ablaze also has a specialist attachment for demon engines called the Soulforged Pack. It's a very cool detachment. The Warlord Trait increases the movement speed of demon engines by 2 inches, as long as within 6 inches of the Warlord.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, 2 inches is quite a bit.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm told.
I'm just going to keep going. What stratagem... And we just ignore that. Okay. One stratagem allows demon engines to act as if they had double their remaining wounds, and the other allows a demon engine to charge even when advanced that turn. That's huge.
That is real. Along with the 2-inch extra.
Yeah. Because demon engines can
gross.
pick up anywhere from 12 to 18 inches of movement. Well,
depending on the demon engine, yeah. But still, it's a great way to tie up the enemy, or in the case of big models, you can even, the Forge Fiend. Mauler Fiend. Mauler Fiend would love that.
Yeah.
And a lot of those stratagems are very inexpensive CP-wise, too, so that's good.
All right, and in the hobby, let's see, the Warband Colors are a maroon-colored power armor with a brass trim. And their pauldrons and helmets are crimson. So, purple
it's like
red.
a dark red and a bright red with gold in between.
Okay.
Kind of a boring color scheme in my opinion, but I love the story of these guys.
Yeah. And their Warband badge is a crimson coordinate rune upon a bone-colored skull centered upon a field of crimson. That's going to be tough to...
Yeah.
That's going to be a little tough.
Yeah. Kind of brutal.
Yeah.
But, again, I really like these guys. I think they were focused on quite a bit. I think the author really liked them as well.
Yeah.
They're a fun Renegade chapter to play and to collect, I think. Because you get all the big monsters in there. The big monstrous, demon engines, and you can make use of a lot of the new models with them as well. For example, the new character.
Oh yeah, he's not a Mechanicus character, but he's a Lord Discordant.
Lord Discordant, yes, on Hellstalker. Super cool model, and then you actually have the tick monster itself.
Yeah.
What's it called again? What is it called?
I don't remember.
I'm not skimming to it in my book at all. Anyways, super rad. Nice models. Really cool. And so those guys have a lot more to them now, which makes a lot of sense to focus on them a little bit in the book. Yeah. So let's move on to the next Renegade chapter.
Yep.
The Flawless Host. Now, these guys were depicted originally, it seems, in 4th edition and in Imperial Armor 4. They were a chapter of Space Marines who were renowned for their purity of both body and spirit. Unfortunately, their own arrogant belief in their own magnificence led them to violently challenge any who would dare question them. So after a series of unfortunate events, they now terrorize the galaxy, still perfectly certain of their own greatness. This sounds like the kind of chapter I should play.
What are their colors?
Yeah.
They sound like Emperor's children.
They do, but the interesting thing about these guys is that they are not Emperor's children's successor.
Yeah.
These traitors were particular about who they chose as their foes. It wasn't enough just to massacre the weak. They weren't they didn't want to just run around murdering commoners, right? They craved to prove their superiority. The Flawless Host sought out other Astartes on the fringes of Imperial society, and luxuriated in the bloodshed. I should these notes when I write them. I'm luxuriated. Is it really necessary that we use that word? Anyway,
yes, it is.
They luxuriated in the bloodshed they wrought upon their brothers. When they finally faced the Red Scorpions, assholes, In battle, they were so enthralled with the chapter's purity that they stole, like the Red Scorpion's purity, that they stole what gene seed they could in order to bolster their own ranks. As one might imagine, the Red Scorpions didn't allow such dishonor to go unanswered, and they responded with significant violence with no quarter given. Their captains, slain, the surviving flawless host, were forced to flee their sanctum.
See, that's nice that they already have a kind of a built-in what's what I'm looking for, like nemesis. They've got their they have someone who hates them just as much as there's a love-hate relationship between the two. Well, hate for the Red Scorpions, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a nice bit of fluff. I like that. I really like that they're basically trolling the Red Scorpions. I mean, and fighting them, but yeah. All right, so on Vigilus, I'll try and be serious now. Let's see how long this happens.
No, why? I'm 2 shots in, dude. It's fine. You can't be expected to be even half as lucid as me. Go ahead.
All right, so Vigilus. The flawless host paraded around the aristocracy of the Mortwald until they were attacked by the defending forces. The flawless host slaughtered the defenders in a glut of violence and pain. When the Iron Warriors pushed through the outer defenses on the ground and advanced on Mortwald's upper levels, they found the flawless host basking in the many pleasures that had once served the aristocracy of Vigilus. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, they were at the Rejuve clinics, getting facials and getting pedicures. I can't imagine giving a Space Marine a pedicure though, because the best part of a pedicure is the massage, and I think that you would need to be really strong to give a nice proper massage to an Astartes.
Well, also this is going way down the rabbit hole now, but sure, let's go. Let's see what happens.
I'm on board. Let's do this.
Yeah, that's pedicure, manicure. That's actually doing nails, and is there a genetic transformation within their skin? Are their nails thick, like horse hooves? Would they have to sit there and have a grinder to do the, to do any sort of work on that? I mean, just I'm sure there's someone
would they
out
have to fire up a chainsaw just to trim their toenails?
Right. There's part of me that kind of wants to go ask the GW people, but on the other hand, I want them to actually reply to our emails in the future. So
that's true. You know what? I should do it for you. Okay, hold on. Warhammer 40,000. It's fine. Just hang in with me here. I'm going to go to the Warhammer 40,000 Facebook page. Okay. Here I am. I'm going to write a post. When the flawless host
wow.
a pedicure from the mortals of Mortwald, did the spa attend, or no, what do they call it? The rejuvenate attendants have to use a chain sword to trim their the Astartes toenails. I expect an answer, Games Workshop. I expect an answer.
Oh, I can't wait to read that. Oh boy. Well, hopefully we'll still keep getting stuff. All right. So next up on your tabletop, the flawless host Renegade Trait from Vigilus Ablaze is Death to the Imperfect. Of course it is. What? Why isn't that the Red Scorpions, chapter trait? Anyway, sorry. They get exploding hits on 6s in the fight phase. So only in the fight phase? Okay. Alright, so their Warlord trait plays off this. The character getting 3 extra attacks on rolls instead of 6. On rolls of 6 instead of just 1. Sorry, I had to say that properly. Let me say it again. Their Warlord trait plays off of this, exploding 6s. The character gets 3 extra attacks on rolls of 6 instead of just 1. So that could be pretty good. That could be pretty nice. Their stratagem is we cannot fail and allows a unit of infantry to reroll all hits in the fight phase. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Although their rules make a lot of sense, I also feel like they're kind of boring.
Yeah.
For me. Like, oh yeah, rerolls, yay. Extra hits, yay.
Yeah, just only one
feels a little
unit of infantry is kind of bothersome.
Yeah. But, they are the flawless host after all.
Yeah.
So, in the hobby, their Warband colors, their power armor is a pale pink.
Okay.
With the extremities painted in purple flame-like pattern. And then they have black trim.
Okay.
Their Warband badge is a black sigil of Slanesh on a field of pink. Except that the lower part is a crescent instead of an orb, and the other end is an 8-pointed star of chaos.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I failed to put it in the notes, but I believe these guys are Imperial Fists successors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
but
interesting.
anybody can fall to Slanesh. It's not just,
Interesting. The color pattern is interesting. That pale pink with purple. Well, our buddy Eric is doing his Emperor's Children.
Oh man, those are
glow,
gorgeous.
Pink, purple.
Holy moly, those look so good.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. Kind of painful to look at for long periods of time, but man, they are beautiful. So, all right, next up. We're looking at the Scourge from the CSM Codex 4th edition. All the way back in the 4th edition. That's been a while. Okay, so we've discussed the Scourge in the past, but since they've appeared on Vigilus, we'll do a slight recap. The Scourged are a warband of traitors hailing from the death world of falsehood, very near Vigilus. Once a fiercely loyal chapter under the auspices of the Inquisition named the Seekers of Truth, they are now bound to the service of Tzeentch. Yay! Their fall came due to conflicts between the chapter's honorable nature and the Inquisition's brutal methodologies. The wholesale slaughter of innocents, even to stop the spread of heresy, was distasteful to the noble chapter and their commander, Gallus Herodacus. Herodacus prayed for the ability to sense when someone was honest, thus avoiding killing innocents. Yeah, I remember these guys now.
Yeah, you remember that episode?
Yeah, I do, because I was still thinking, who is this? And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember these guys. Okay. The God Emperor ignored their pleas, yet Tzeentch answered them because Tzeentch is generous. Probably not as generous
He's
as
a
Papa
nice
Nurgle,
fella.
but hey, whatever.
No.
So, though, rather than granting them the ability to detect lies at will, instead, Tzeentch bestowed upon the Seekers of Truth the maddening clairvoyance to hear the lies told by every Imperial citizen throughout the galaxy. Wow. Needless to say, this broke the chapter's allegiance to the Imperium and drained their desire to protect its people. Yeah, that would probably lead to, bad feelings all around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to listen to the episode where we discuss this chapter in detail, we do have an old episode, and we do have a page that actually lists the descriptions of every episode that we've done on our website. Just go to that page for the backlog and do a Control F for the Scourged, and you should be able to find it.
Yeah.
So on Vigilus, Dirkton Hive Sprawl was a mass of half-completed structures rampant with the unwashed criminal masses of Vigilus's lower class. So imagine kind of a work in progress stalled halfway through. That was Dirkton Hive Sprawl. This, of course, made it the most ripe for Genestealer infestation. Indeed, the tunnels beneath the Hive continent were the home of the Pauper Prince's patriarch. This was a truth easily revealed by the Scourge, who were the traitor's best hope for finally breaking the resistance posed by the cults. Because when they arrived, the Abaddon's people didn't realize how much resistance they were going to get.
Yeah.
Because they had no idea there was a Gene Stealer cult infestation.
Well, that's one of their strengths. Just like the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah. So the Scourged, the reason why the Scourge were the best suited for this is because they they knew and could reveal the truth of the Pauper Prince's eventual end at the hands of their own gods, because they know all lies, right? And one of the big lies of the Gene Stealer cults is that they're welcoming their saviors, right?
Right.
So the cult resisted en masse. They retreated into the delusion instead of being like in disarray. They retreated back into their delusion in a massive wave of this shared denial. And they forced back the forces of chaos on their own home turf. Dirkden would remain in the hands of the Pauper Princes till the end of the war. They still hold that territory fairly decisively.
Okay, so on your tabletop, the Scourge Renegade Trait is omniscient and plays off the idea that they are given special insight into the enemy's movements. Therefore, every time they shoot or fight, they get 1 reroll to hit. In addition, they overwatch on a 5-up instead of a 6-up. I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. The Warlord Trait is even more interesting. It allows the Warlord to reveal one of the lies he knows to his foes, stopping them in their tracks. The enemy must fight last. Ooh, I really like that. The Scourge Stratagem is similarly appropriate and allows the unit to shoot at a nearby enemy which arrived from reserves. Cool. It's like they arrive and then they get a...
Then you just immediately shoot them. I think it's within 12 inches.
Okay.
But okay. So I was not a big fan of the Flawless Hosts rules. These guys, however, really just bleed with the lore of their chapter. Like, it's really cool. I'm really impressed with the rules for these guys. That 5-up Overwatch because they know you're coming.
Right.
Before you even charge, they're like, they're gonna charge us. Yep, 5-up.
Well,
and the whole revealing a lie. I feel like if you play these guys, you have to actually say what that lie is to the person you're fighting.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good narrative thing to pull off.
Yeah.
But it also reminds me of, what was that? There was an old rule for Inquisition. I've been expecting you or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like that,
Yeah, which I think is... I'm trying to remember what the rule was, but basically they have Interceptor, the old Interceptor rule. They're allowed to shoot at a nearby enemy which has arrived from reserves.
Exactly.
Which, that is... I'll be honest, I really love those rules. Those are really cool.
They're really good and really, really evocative of their lore.
Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who really dug that, let's talk about the hobby. So their Warband colors are blue power armor with red accents, which are often gauntlets, shoulder pads, and helmets, and gold edging. Mm-hmm. Or,
that's
as
a
I like
really
to call
cool
it,
scheme.
Ultramarines. Okay.
I think like more Imperial Fistsy.
Wait, what?
More Imperial Fistsy, really, I think.
Oh, the Warband colors?
Or not Imperial Fists, Crimson Fists. Sorry, dude.
Oh, yeah, Crimson Fists. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Yeah, because they've got all the Crimson Fists. Their badge is the Eye of Zinch, with arrows sprouting in different directions, either white over a field of red or red over a field of blue. But I will be honest, that is a really, really cool chapter trait. I do like that quite a bit.
Yeah, and the color scheme isn't boring either. It's a pretty cool color scheme. And you can actually take like some of your Zinch decals or decals if you're in Canada.
Water slide transfers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can, when you're done when you get them nice and they're dry and you get a nice clear coat over them, you can draw some arrows on them with paint and call it a day.
That is pretty cool. That's a cool badge.
Yeah.
Yes, I was so busy thinking about the colors, I didn't really think that much about what the badge would look like. But yeah, that'd be a good way to put that together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those guys are cool. I like those. I like the Scourged even more now that we have rules. I didn't go back and look at what rules we made up for them, but these are way better. Next we have the Purge. The Purge are I've heard about them before. Yeah. We've never done an episode on them. They're from 4th edition and IA7 Vrax.
Yeah, there we go.
Although the Purge are technically followers of Nurgle, they do not have a love for life. So it's very antithetical to most Nurgle stuff. Right. Actually, they're kind of like what people think Nurgle's all about before they learn about Nurgle.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. Most people think Nurgle's about death. A lot, or I wouldn't say most people, but uninitiated Warhammer enthusiasts would think that Nurgle's about death when Nurgle is about literally the opposite. But the Purge, on the other hand...
Nurgle's about love.
Yes, yeah. Nurgle is all about love. But the Purge, on the other hand, are not. They focus entirely on this extermination of the living. A nihilistic and destructive force. The Purge have no care for honor or brotherhood. They simply are too few to follow through with their dream of extinguishing all life, and therefore must work with other warbands from time to time. While this warband doesn't shirk from personal combat, they would never complete even a fraction of their goals if they didn't employ any grander gestures of annihilation, weapons of mass destruction, weaponized pathogens. These are all favorite tools of this genocidal warband. One might argue, however, that the Imperium has the Purge beat in that regard by an uncountable degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Purge are very busy. They have executed campaigns throughout the galaxy, both on their own and alongside the Black Legion. They delighted in the slaughter on Vrax, unleashing horrific weapons upon the Krieg's front lines, and the Krieg were like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I mean,
give us more, Daddy. On other worlds, Burgalteria, Tertia, Belleru, Fealty 2, the Purge spread disease and chaos by crash landing their own corroded vessels into the worlds. Pestilence and plague radiate from crash sites along with the Purge warriors themselves. Although more populated worlds have more lives to extinguish, the Purge tend to focus on the Imperium's breadbaskets. For example, they focused on killing the agri-worlds of Tertia and Belleru systems. They chose to single out the world of Vaxhalia due to its biological wealth, wiping out in a single month. In choosing these targets, they're able to do two things. Deny many worlds of the Imperium vital resources for citizens to survive, so famine, and temporarily take control of shipping lanes from these worlds as a vector for further contamination.
Wow.
Very much like the Gene Stealer cult. So it's super smart.
You still there?
Yep. You want to do Vigilus?
Okay. So Vigilus. All right. So in the Dontoria Hive Sprawl, the Purge not only eliminated life with Bolter and Flamer, but also with poison gas and terrible plagues. Because nothing says fun like poison gas and terrible plagues. Yeah, no kidding. Especially if you've been changing diapers recently. So, there we go. Got that joke in. Woohoo! Nothing was off limits. No adult or child, no animal or insect, not even Nurgle's own pathogens. Everything was exterminated in the path of the Purge. In the end, all that remained were the Purge and the Death Guard, whose forces in the Hive Sprawl killed each other nearly to a man over their philosophical differences. Okay, in music we call that, I don't even want to go there. Yeah. Wow. That does create some really interesting role-playing, though. So, on your tabletop, the Purge Renegade Trait gives them rerolls on hits against units which have already lost wounds that turn. which does make a level of sense. Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Their Warlord Trait allows the character to reroll wounds of 1 and reroll damage rolls. Oh.
Yeah, if you're rocking a power fist.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. The Purge stratagem is far more inspired than their other abilities. It allows them to shoot at an enemy unit that is within 1 inch of another Purge unit. On a 1 to hit, though, the friendly unit is hit instead. Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that neat? I really like that ability. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's very. It's almost like Korn. It's like Korn never misses. These guys never miss either. So, in the hobby, or not Korn, but Karn. Sorry, I have to make sure I get the A instead of the O. So in the hobby, Warband Colors, the Purge use the faded green of Nurgle and black. Most often, shoulder pads, helmets, and greaves are green, while their torsos, upper bodies, gauntlets, and backpacks are black. Okay. And their symbol are 3 Nurgle flies arranged in a radial pattern, face to face. Okay,
so not a tough but a little different from just Death Guard.
Yeah, the faded green. That could be done. I mean, just work from the dark up to really light green. Yeah, that could be done.
And then just some black on the extremities.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, that seems like a doable color. Like the crimson and maroon one just kind of hurt my brain, but that looks like it could do. Be done.
Yeah, and I love their stratagem, being able to shoot something that's in combat. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So let's do the Red Corsairs again. We've a lot of people have talked about the Red Corsairs of late, and a lot of people are really familiar with Red Corsairs. We could do a whole episode on them at some point, which we might. For now, let's just discuss the Vigilus presence and the rules presented in this book. So, on Vigilus, the numerous Red Corsairs disrupted Imperial shipping lanes. They're pirates, so duh.
Yeah.
They cordoned off the system from any assistance. A few vessels did break through, however, including the Eldari stealth vessel Vol's Ghost, which, as you'll remember from the last episode, didn't destroy, but severely crippled the Vengeful Spirit. In the atmosphere and low orbit, they waged war against the White Scars in furious dogfights. When they eventually took to battle on solid ground, it was at various spaceports across the planet's surface and in the void.
Okay.
Which makes sense for their idiom. They would be, fighting in areas that would affect their shipping.
Yeah, they're these space pirates.
Stealing.
Are the most space pirates-y. God, I hate using that.
Yes.
But they're the most space pirates. I mean, you just gotta wait for them to go looking for ice or something like that.
Yes.
Space harpies. Okay. I wonder if you want to get that joke. So, Red Corsairs on your tabletop. The raider theme...
Is that like bunny pox?
Wait, what? Oh,
bunny
space
pox.
harpies? You never saw Ice Pirates?
No.
Seriously? Okay.
No,
You have to go watch that.
Space pirates, okay. Understood. I've seen space truckers.
Nah, it's well, yeah, it's about that bad. But yeah,
cool.
It's kind of amazing. I
Sounds
saw
like
it because one of the main characters is named Jason, and so my father thought it would be hilarious for me to go see it.
You know what's probably a worse movie? Atlantic Rim. Atlantic Rim is
probably
the worst thing I've ever
seen on
Netflix. It is probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, I'll check it out later.
The only way I could possibly watch it was because it was on Mystery Science Theater.
Wait a minute, was that the one that had Graham Greene?
I don't know.
From Dances with Wolves?
Yes, and he was also in like Northern Exposure too.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he must need a lot. Like he must have a drug habit that he needs money for or he's in trouble with the IRS. I don't know.
I hold on. I did watch part of that just to see what was,
it's literally the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't finish it. I watched a little bit and went, wow, this is terrible. Okay.
It's probably worth it to watch it as Mystery Science Theater.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, duh.
All right, so let's try and get serious again. Although we'll see how long that lasts.
No.
Okay. Good job. All right, Red Corsairs on your tabletop. The Raider theme features heavily in the Red Corsairs rules. Their Renegade traits give them the ability to charge even when they advance.
So good.
Furthermore, they get +1 command point per detachment, unless it includes 3 or more CSM, in which case it adds 3 command points. Oh, okay. Their Warlord trait allows them to have an additional relic stolen via some impressive conquest in the character's history. They also get a +1 attack whenever they kill an enemy character, and their stratagem is called More Where They Came From, and allows you to remove a CSM unit from the battlefield and bring it back at full strength next turn.
Yeah, they're very focused on just the standard Chaos Space Marine.
Yeah.
Unit.
Yeah, I that's interesting. That's much more, I don't know, it's not so Nurgle, it's not so demony, it's definitely very much
CSM-y.
them, which they're...
Yeah, it's them.
If I remember right, the Red Corsairs are not interested in demons and demon engines and other stuff like that.
No. I mean, I'm sure that's why they got along so well with the Black Legion. Sort of, because the Black Legion will use whatever resources they need.
Yeah.
And also, I wonder how long before, Abaddon forces the Red Corsairs to bend the knee completely. They're too strong right now. I think he doesn't want a civil war with the Red Corsairs at this point. They're too strong. But yeah, I do wonder how that's gonna play out.
That is interesting. That's an interesting thought. I mean, especially since you're dealing with Huron Blackheart, and
yeah, he's got an audacity all of his own.
Yeah.
And a terrible model. Crimson Slaughter on your tabletop. So Crimson Slaughter, here's the thing, they're there. They are there. They're at Vigilus. I kind of skimmed through the book as best I could. Whereas the rest of these Renegade chapters have a little blurb on them.
Right.
And then they talk about where they fought. So then I could go back to the book and find out where they fought and look at their story there. Mm-hmm. The Crimson Slaughter don't have a blurb, and as far as I can tell from skimming the book, I don't think they're mentioned. If they are mentioned, they're mentioned in passing, because I can't find them.
Interesting.
But they're there. They're in the list of Dramatis Personae for this war. So, and they also have rules, so that's also good. So the Crimson Slaughter are like this haunted legion, or haunted chapter. They voices of the people that they wronged in the past. We did an episode on the Crimson Slaughter in the past. Again, go ahead and check out our back issues or our back episodes. Do a Control F on our back episodes page and look for Crimson Slaughter. Yeah, I think Camille was still on the show when we did these. So they play off their haunted second born nature and bloodlust. The Renegade trait awards you, whenever you kill an enemy unit, +1 command point on a 5+ roll. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Also, when you kill that enemy unit, you are immune to morale. The Warlord trait depicts warp spirits of those the Warlord has murdered, kind of swimming around his body. And so that causes a -1 penalty to morale for enemies within 6 inches. That increases to -2 at 9 inches if they killed enemy models during the battle. So the first time your Warlord kills an enemy model, he incurs a -2 morale at 9 inches, which can be pretty deadly, to be honest. The Crimson Slaughter stratagem makes the terrain feature haunted during the enemy shooting phase, incurring a -1 to hit for units within 3 inches of it. So instead of incurring a -1 to hit one of your units, instead you haunt a terrain feature and cause -1 to hit for specific enemy units, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They would also be pretty well served on your tabletop with the Demonkin Ritualist Specialist attachment, which kind of focuses on Dark Apostles, Possessed, that kind of thing. This would also be, a good attachment for specific flavors of other Renegade chapters. Mm-hmm. Even talking about the Scourged and stuff, like any anybody who's thinking about using the possessed in a large amount would do well to check out that. It just makes them stronger. They get extra attacks and strength and whatever.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. I'm digging that.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if possibly, maybe there's going to be a novel that comes out soon. That would be
nice.
Well, because they typically go through after they've done I don't know what I'm looking for, like a Warzone book or whatever. They come out with a novel within about 3 to 6 months. Sometimes they have it at the same time, and so I'm just wondering if that's what we're missing.
It would be nice. I mean, I feel like the books are more focused on Ultramar than Vigilus, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Welcome to Smurfs.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to actually go into another segment on the Successor chapters of Vigilus, which is most of that information is from Vigilus Defiance rather than Vigilus Ablaze. But we're going to go over those and kind of give you our impressions of those. So check out these messages, and we'll be right back.
Oi! After an hard day's shopping, I like to head down to the pub and enjoy a good brew with me mates. Shopping humans all day is hard smelly work, so's I likes to top myself up with something nice. Chopper body spray is not just a treat for you, it's a treat for the whole crew. Now available in Green Apple Grunt, All After Dark, and Oops Don't Press That Fragrances. Chopper body spray, don't make me axe you twice.
Come here, boy, get the ball. Come on, Max, get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him his Zotobix today.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, Zotobix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh, boy, I'd better feed Max his Zotobix.
Yes, you had.
Zotobix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert deathwoods.
Ah!
Zotobix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached.
And we're back. So we have someone helping us record this last segment. Say hi, Quinn. Hi, everybody. I'm Quinn. How you doing? Oh, that's a good job. That's your first podcast. Yay. Yep, that's how I feel about it too, buddy. So, Jason, you want to start us off?
Oh, this poor child.
By the way, there are a ton of Successor chapters here. Lots of... Like, a lot of the main chapters are here, too.
Yeah.
Just look at the book. Nobody wants to go through all of those. If we do more focus episodes on, any of these main chapters in the future, we'll definitely talk about their role on Vigilus.
Yeah.
But for now, I would just like to focus on some of these little successors. I feel like we might get if we don't get a new Space Marine Codex, I think we'll get a Primaris Codex, and some of these Primaris only successors would probably be involved. So you want to talk about the Castellans of the Rift?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get to those guys. All right, so the Castellans of the Rift are an Ultima founding chapter of the Ultramarines. Okay, whatever. And are experienced in fighting against the forces of the Ruinous Powers, demons and demon engines specifically. When they were called to arms on Vigilus, the Castellans of the Rift were already deployed to Daravar, fighting against the renegade knights of Excommunicatores, King Caligus. Man, that was a rough sentence. Sorry. Daravar lies between Vigilus and Sanguiterra within the Nachtmund gauntlet itself. The Castellans of the Rift split their forces and dispatched 2 companies, each to the demon-infested world of Sanguiterra in the Imperium Sanctus, and Vigilus in the Imperium Nihilus. It's likely we'll hear more about both Sanguiterra and Daravar in future campaign books, or at least the forthcoming Renegade Knights book. Let's see. Then we have Storval, which I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. Anyways, so in the hobby, the chapter colors, the Castellans paint their armor almost entirely pale green, with various red and white helmet stripes denoting rank. The color plate in Vigilus Ablaze trims their armor with a darker green. As the plate shows a warrior of the second company, it is unlikely that this is a company marking, or it would be yellow. So on your tabletop, you're looking at Ultramarines.
I would think maybe Ultramarines. It's tough because they're really the tactical Successor chapter.
Yeah,
they got the green and they're kind of spooky noodles. So I would almost say it'd be okay if you used Raven Guard tactics. I guess, but either way, just use whatever you think is best. Really.
Well, a nice, pale green, I guess, is going to be kind of close to that sea green, seafoam green.
Yeah.
So that could be...
Yeah.
That can be a pretty interesting color scheme. You could really work on getting the contrast of that from the lower part of the armor to the top part of the armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I apologize. This one I actually dropped the ball. I put Stroval in the notes to go back and research it. That's where they fought on Vigilus.
Oh, okay.
They fought on the Stroval continent. Yeah, so
that's okay. I haven't had a chance to finish reading that book either. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So next up we have. You want to take the Necropolis Hawks?
The Necropolis Hawks, and I'm sure Quinn will help me talk about this one. So the Necropolis Hawks are Raven Guard successors, specifically adept at close quarters urban combat.
Ooh.
They fought on Dontoria, but as we know, the Dontoria Hive Sprawl was, shall we say, not entirely... nobody won Dontoria Hive Sprawl. That is still kind of deeply in the hands of the Gene Stealer cult, as far as I can tell. So the hobby for them, their chapter colors are the color of they have this muted blue with white pauldrons. They have a helmet and a white backpack. Which blends into most urban settings. They stripe their helmets red and white to denote their rank. The color plate shows like this gold trim on a second company warrior.
Right.
This seems to indicate they follow Codex Astartes color trim traditions for their companies. So like red for third, I think it is. It goes on and on. Green for fourth, I think. Their symbol is a stylized hawk facing forward, as is proper for any heraldry.
Yeah.
The Necropolis Hawks also make use of different markings for various battle honors and ranks. According to the short blurb in Vigilus Ablaze, they also apply their markings to their backpacks so that they can visually identify one another in often chaotic, smoke-filled urban battle zones. I would definitely use Raven Guard for their chapter tactic, unless, of course, in the future they have a different rules.
Yeah.
Now, here's a funny thing. I definitely remember doing more notes for them on Vigilus. I have a feeling that this did not save last night at 3 a.m. when I was doing notes. I apologize. But Dontoria Hive Sprawl is a good location for them because they can that kind of close quarters city, rundown city fighting is definitely suited for their abilities. And this would be a fun chapter to play and to paint, I think. I think they have a really good scheme, and I think that their lore makes them fun. Yeah, you definitely want to use them in like urban combat and stuff. They do remind me a little bit of my own Star Eagles, kind of the way they fight.
Got it.
Who are also Raven Guard successors.
Yeah, that's right. They are. Yeah. Okay. So the next
Sons of the Phoenix.
The next up is Sons of the Phoenix, which so I don't. If I remember correctly, Sons of the Phoenix first showed up in a GW magazine, actually, as an example of painting Primaris Marines.
Yeah, one of the GW employees created this chapter. I forget who. I think it might have been Rue. You know what? Don't quote me on that one. I forget who it is, but they have an actual Sons of the Phoenix army.
Yeah.
And yeah, they use it as an example of creating your own chapter of Primaris Space Marines.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that, and like, it's interesting because the way they looked, a lot of people thought they were Emperor's Children successors.
Yes.
That was kind of the... So anyways, I thought that was kind of cool as I was reading the notes on it. So the Sons of the Phoenix are an example of how interesting the Primaris project is and how it can reveal truths about Astartes psychology. They're either proof of how quickly even an Ultima founding chapter can diverge from its parent, or how they can expose the predilections of its parent's chapter. These two notions may seem a bit at odds, but hear us out, please. The Sons of the Phoenix are primary successors to the Imperial Fists, but are a crusading chapter and followers of the Imperial Creed. When they go to war, they are led by chaplains and followed by people of the cloth. So one might wonder if either the Imperial Fists have a natural fanatical side to them, or if the Sons of the Phoenix were actually created directly from the Black Templar stock. You know, were they actually from Sigismund and his crew? So in the Wars of Antipathy, the Sons of Phoenix would lay down curtains of fire on the enemy and stride through them without hesitation. And they're active in the... Sorry, I heard Quinn. So they were active in the Hyperia Hive Sprawl on Vigilus. So in the hobby, so if you've seen the original GW picture, their colors are primarily off-white with purple right arm and left knee pad. They're also adorned with gold trim, with rank being denoted with a red helmet paint and red checks adorn their bolters. Their symbol is a helm crested with lightning bolts and a single feather wing curling beneath it, embracing a star. And you can create them using Grey Knights, Black Templars, and Sisters of Battle bids. There's also, Anvil Industry has burning candle bits that you can use as well, or you can create your own by using, how did I do it? Using plastic art if you want.
That's a cool look. Thank you. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. If you have a chance, go and look at the original picture for them, because they're amazing. The ones that were painted. So
yeah, I think they have pictures. I think they have pictures of the miniatures either in this book or in the Space Marines book.
Oh, do they? Okay,
it's really cool. Yeah,
that's probably one of the best, examples I've seen of kit bashing and really cool stuff in a while.
They're really cool.
So on your tabletop, you can use either the Imperial Fists or Black Templars. They do sound like Black Templars.
Yeah. Yeah, I would use the Black Templars rules for these guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about the current rule set for Black Templars, but this does sound a lot like the way they do things.
Yeah, I am certain that I went through here and I did. I went through here, went through each of the sections that they were fighting in, and I wrote notes on what they did on Vigilus, and
just didn't get the
it
update.
Is not here.
It's okay.
I don't think it actually did the up. That is really annoying. Anyways, okay.
All right, so we're on to the Void Tritons, which is
the Void Tritons.
Cool
yeah, they're really cool. True to their name, the Void Tritons hail from an ocean world called Talisar. They uphold a strict naval tradition even among their battle brothers, they are already renowned for impressive abilities at the helm of capital ships. They were the first to cross the Nockmood Gauntlet, dodging the forces of the Uranus powers in their way. On Vigilus, the Void Tridents heeded the call of aid from Vigilus. They assaulted the Orc fleets with brutal efficiency, executing precision boarding actions and throwing many Orc crews into disarray. They kind of played the same role as the Red Corsairs. They're more the void combat type guys. Then in the hobby, their chapter colors are primarily dark blue of their homeworld's oceans.
Right.
And their armor is trimmed with gold and have white pauldrons. Their symbol is a red 3-pronged fork. They use white and red stripes to denote rank. Most of these use white and red stripes for ranking.
Right.
Much like the Ultramarines, even when they're not an Ultramarines successor.
Yeah, so these are not primary Ultima founding. They're okay. I didn't look these guys up because they're interesting. You know, that they have a naval tradition is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know, maybe these guys are the type that are there to basically clean out space hulks.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I do like their lore just from the small little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really neat.
All right, so next up, we have the Crimson Fists. We have talked about the Crimson Fists in the past, but we won't go really deep into their.
Yeah, we're gonna just do like a recent history type thing.
Okay, so the Crimson Fists spent many years recovering from their chapter's recent tragedies. Even at 40% strength, without the benefit of their fortress monastery, Boulder Pool, or even gene seed vaults, they fought back against the orcs on Rimsworld and largely succeeded. When Guilliman arrived with new material and over 500 new battle brothers during the Indominus Crusade, these devotees were welcomed with open arms. The Crimson Fist became a symbol for Primaris indoctrination, swelling their numbers to full chapter strength almost overnight. What's more, each battle brother was given the honor in participating in the full range of rituals involved in becoming a Crimson Fist. Upon Vigilus, rather than strike with overwhelming force like many other chapters, Pedro Cantor exercised patience for his Crimson Fists. They consulted with the Vigilus Senate and Guilliman before being stationed against the Genestealer cult at Dirkden Hivesprawl. Of course, many of the veterans of Rimsworld would have preferred to kill orcs, but their patience and temperance would be needed at Dirkden. Even with Astra Militarum support, there were not enough Crimson Fists to totally liberate Dirkden, but because of their involvement in that war zone, thousands of innocent human lives were saved before the Dirkden fort wall fell to the inevitable advance of the enemy.
Yes. So, you know, they definitely served with distinction on Vigilus, especially being at full strength thanks to all the Primaris additions. On your tabletop, the Crimson Fist Liberator Strike Force Specialist Detachment represents the Primaris heroes of the liberation of Rimsworld. This detachment is intended for the use of Crimson Primaris Marines. The Heroes of Rimsworld stratagem gives a unit exploding hits, and the Paragons of Dorn stratagem allows a unit to shoot out of phase if they are attacked. So if they get attacked, they get to shoot out of phase. The Expert Instructor Warlord Trait allows the Liberator Strike Force units within 9 inches to reroll 1s to hit.
Okay.
That's a pretty long distance.
Yeah, they actually have chapter tactics in the GW in the monthly in the White Dwarf.
Yep.
Somewhere I have that somewhere. I don't know if it's the exact same. So other chapters that showed up on Vigilus that we have not gone in depth on include the Silver Blades, the Fire Lords, the Mortifactors, the Genesis chapter, the White Consuls, the Praetors of Orpheus, the Silver Skulls, Author Sarah Cockwell has written a few books on this chapter, and the books are really good. I've read them. Hawk Lords, the Howling Griffins, the Nova Marines, Guy Haley with Death of Integrity, Sons of Medusa.
The Nova Marines are featured in the new Dark Imperium as well.
Oh, goody. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the blue and white quartered scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a quartered scheme. Sons of Medusa, or maybe it's the half scheme. Someone already knows.
I
they're
think
going to
it's
go
quartered.
through and mark it as
whatever.
Okay. Sons of Medusa, Consecrators, Angels of Redemption, Solar Hawks, Storm Reapers, and Destroyers. So that's a good list, and it probably says at the end of it, see next list for the rest of them, and get that list.
Yeah, exactly.
Rad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
So, we have some additional on your tabletop here. The Indomitus Crusader Specialist Detachment is perfect to run with your Primaris Successor chapters. It'll let you have veterans, basically. So it's intended for use by various Primaris units, mainly in Scepters and Intercessors, along with their chapter, the character support, like, the lieutenants and whatever. It represents veterans of the Indomitus Crusade, and although there are, as of yet, no veterans units specifically for Primaris, the use of a 1-point stratagem from this detachment makes one unit of Inceptors or Intercessors into veterans, affording them a +1 attack, +1 leadership. That's like a pre-game stratagem.
Okay.
The various stratagems play into this, making the veteran units from this detachment perform better, including a unique stratagem for each specific bolt rifle variant. The one for Stalker bolt rifles allows the unit to target characters and deal mortal wounds on a 6+. The one for auto bolt rifles allows them to automatically hit within half range. And the one for the standard bolt rifle makes their type rapid fire 2 instead of rapid fire 1, which is super sweet. Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice.
The Warlord Trait Grey Shield is also interesting. It means that the character was part of the Grey Shields during the Indominus Crusade.
Right.
This plays off their mixed heritage of those units. And, they served with other chapters and allows the Crusaders to act as if they had a different chapter tactic for one turn once per game.
That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not sure. I think my favorite. I like the Necropolis Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
They're adept at the close quarters combat. And they fight in cities and stuff like that. I thought those guys are cool, and I like their name, Necropolis Hawks.
Yeah,
like they're meant to fight in dead cities, so I think that's really cool.
That is a cool name. That's a cool title. I'm digging the Void Tridents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly want to paint blue, but I do like their lore.
It's
their
a faded blue. It's a faded blue, so
yeah.
I think it would be a good one. All right, so those are the Successor chapters of Vigilus. Sorry, we lost some of those show notes, but I think we represented them fairly well. Why don't we take a quick break, come back, and close out the show?
Are you looking for a pressure-free hobby Facebook group? Hobby Streak. Are you looking for a community where you can keep your hobby progress on track? Hobby Streak. Do you want a Facebook group that focuses on all aspects of the hobby? Hobby Streak. Hobby Streak is a Facebook group for building, painting, list building, playing games, and everything in between. Hobby Streak. Post daily updates showing or telling about your progress for friendly and helpful support from a great community. Try Hobby Streak today.
Hey, Masters of the Forge listeners, are you looking to expand your Warhammer 40,000 gaming group?
Do you want to start a 40k club in your area?
Do you want the people you attract to be like-minded mofos?
Do you want to advertise your YouTube channel?
Or even attract more subscribers to your hobby blog or online community?
Then what better way than to advertise on the Masters of the Forge podcast?
All we ask of you is that you email us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com or message us on Facebook with a full text of your advertisement, including the region in which you live and any contact information people can use to get a hold of you.
We will have one of our many tech servitors read your advertisement on the air. We promise not to make fun of you.
Though we can't always predict the actions of our servitors, you really can't find good help these days.
No, you can't.
And we're back. So, I need to feed the baby.
Yeah.
He's very upset. He's very pissed off at us.
He is not a happy young man.
No.
By any definition.
No. The bottle is warming as we speak.
Yeah.
So, to make a long story short, minor players, Astartes Wise of Vigilus. Very interesting. I like how that these things, like these campaign books are bringing to light some of the players that we're used to hearing about from previous editions. Some of the players that we've been involved with in some of the Forge World books.
Yeah.
I think that that's a good sign. I think it's a good sign that, you know, some of the things that used to be sacrosanct, like only for Forge World, have come into the full light of day as GW Prime. And I've heard that GW is now taking over rules writing for the 40k content from Forge World.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That'll be
nice.
It'll be nice for them to, you know, actually pay attention to maybe some of the bad ab people or bad ab chapters and
yeah. I think it had to be done.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. Even though some of the stories and stuff for the Forge World were superior, I guess.
Yeah.
One, I guess you could call it that. I think it's important that the rules be congruent.
Yeah.
So,
well,
you still have all the stories. You still have all the old stories. There's nothing stopping you from running those campaigns. But the rules, it would be nice if they were to remain somewhat balanced with one another.
Yeah, I mean,
modern.
For instance, we have some of the Successor variants. You know, I remember that the numbers for them was just kind of terrible. You know, I've got some really cool tanks that I can't play unless I'm just willing to auto lose because they're just way overcosted. But they look cool.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so we're gonna get going, but folks, check us out on Facebook, Masters of the Forge.
Yep.
On Facebook, Masters of Forge on Twitter.
Yep.
We have the mastersoftheforge.com website.
Yep.
Super cool. What else, dude?
Instagram, #Masters of the Forge. I actually looked through that the other day and found a few people that had been posting there, and I had not seen it, so I added some of our listeners so I could actually see what they're doing.
That's cool.
We
also have a not Slack. What are we talking about? Discord.
Yeah,
we have a Discord channel. I would love it if folks contacted us through our Facebook page or via email, mastersoftheforge@gmail.com. Let us know if you're interested in joining us in the NPC Discord chat, where you can talk to Adeptus Terra podcast, NGC 40K, or ourselves. It's a really positive atmosphere in there. Not overly annoying. Some good folks. So check that out. Next time, I am sure to be even more sleep deprived. And Jason will be more rested. So
Yeah.
great. Good for us. But until then,
Play the game the way you want to.
The music used in this podcast was made by Parad of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission. This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial, International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.